Hey guys, this is Kirgy. I thought I'd take the time out to do a little video tutorial on how to use Expression Editor. This is a huge project that I'm going to be working on. Right now we're just going to go over the basics of how to get to World of Logs, how to find someone's specific parse. Then I'm going to backtrack into our own parses, and we're going to see how to find a specific fight, which is going to be the same for even if you're looking at somebody else or yourself. And I'm going to show you timeline sequences, specific instance sequences, and then I'm going to discuss a little bit about the coding and how to understand it and why we do certain things and the nuances. And then I'll also show you how to do limiting factors in order to see a bigger timeline, or rather a longer running timeline, so you can see the fight as it draws out. Alright, so let's take a look at the basics of how to use Expression Editor. First off, we need to go to World of Logs. So right now I'm actually just going to go log out of World of Logs, so we don't have anything here, and I'll start from scratch. So you go to worldoflogs.com. Let's try to find somebody's rank or whatnot. For this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and go to DPS rankings on Dragon Soul, and we're going to look at heroic Altraxian. And at this point, I don't even care if it's United States or whatnot. So let's go ahead and use this one right here. So you would click that person, and you would see their damage done on that log. You would see all the things that happen at this point in time, and what you can do for that person, if provided you can understand the language or whatnot, you would just head to the Expression Editor, having that fight selected, and you would go through the source name and all that. I'll get to that more in hand so you can see the coding and how it would work. But just so you can see, maybe this wasn't the fight you were looking for, let's go back and let's look at a specific person you're interested in. We'll use the More button on the bottom, and you have your list of all your classes that you have here, and you can select whichever class is applicable to you and see how they did for DPS or HPS or however you want to refer to it. But now, let's actually take a look at our logs and see what was going on. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And then we're going to go to our site to see what was going on, or excuse me, our logs to see what was going on. And let's take a look at Altraxian, because we want to look at the same relevant fight. Let's look at the kill. So we're going to go down. We have already expressed the fight that we need, which is Altraxian 25 normal. And we're going to go straight down to the Expression Editor part, which is what this video is all about. And as you can see, we have a whole list of time sequences of things that have been happening with SO and other people and everything else. So right now we're pretty much general. It hasn't given us anything. It gives us all the data that's useless right now to us, aside from, unless if you want to know what everybody's doing, which may not be the case. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to use Brithlam as an example. So when we want to take a look at, let's say, Brithlam, our example's timeline, we're just going to go ahead and start off by typing in our query box, which is the way you would look for certain things in Expression Editor. You would type in source name equals Brithlam, or yourself, or whomever, and type equals typecast. There are a number of different types that you can use, but just to see his rotation, we'll use typecast. And the reference of source name would refer to things happening from Brithlam. So let's run the code, and we can see everything that's happening. We have the whole entire results page, which is real nice because you can see everything, but it's way too much clutter, and it takes up too much space, and you would have to go through pages and pages to see things. Now, you may want to look at what was happening at a specific instance in time where someone may have died or something, and you want to see if he missed a heal or not, and you can always refer to that in other ways. But just if you're concerned about a rotation, we'll go ahead and take a look at this timeline. So you just plot it, and now you can see almost everything he's done for the fight. However, there is some issues with Expression Editor restricting the view of things on timelines just because of how much data it's collecting and producing for you. So it might be better for you if you provide what we call limiting factors, things that you don't want to see, things you're not interested in. So how you would do those things is you would look at spells or occurrences that have happened, and you would just remove them from the query. And to do that specifically, like for example, a spell, let's remove Hand of Salvation and Blessing of Might, because we really are not interested in seeing how many times you did those. We would type the AND operator, spell does not equal, then the spell name. And we're going to add the other one now too. And spell does not equal, once again, the other spell name. So when you rerun the code, it'll restrict every time Bree had casted Hand of Salvation and Blessing of Might, so that you see everything else he's casted but those two spells. Let's go back to the timeline, and poof, they're not there anymore. Make sure that if you're doing it for only one person, you can use the AND operator and not the OR operator, or you're going to end up seeing a lot of other things on there that you may not want to see. I'll get more in depth of what will happen in those occurrences. It depends on how you set up your query. But again, not the purpose of this video at the moment. So right now you can see a much more clear representation of what he was doing a little bit more actively, aside from his major cooldowns that you see like once or twice in the middle of the fight, which you can also remove depending on how important that is for you. Excuse me. Once you see all these results and all these things that are happening here, you can continue seeing, okay, well, he happened to do this at this point in time, and you can see what was going on. When you're writing these codes, when you're actually trying to do these things, you may have issues where it's going to say something called error parsing, and that depends on if you're not typing it correctly. The query box in Expression Editor is a part of some Java coding, which is extremely case sensitive. So the way you write things has to be 100% specific to exactly how it has to be. It can't be source name all lowercase and Brithlum without quotations and lowercase b on Brithlum. It is exactly how I have it is correct, and if you were to do it in any other way, it would have issues and say error parsing, and you'd have to try and figure out why. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is just the intro, but I'll see you again next time.